If you haven't heard of this plugin, you may be sleeping, because this plugin is the best reverb I've ever heard on the planet, and it's well worth the 700 bucks that I spent for it. But I'm making this video so you don't have to spend 700 bucks to see what it sounds like. I just want to show you how genius this plugin is called. It's called Altiverb 7. Nobody really talks about it because it's a secret sauce. And let's switch into the DAW. So again, it's a really expensive reverb, but it's expensive for a reason, because until I discovered this reverb last night, rediscovered it, I didn't realize how many presets are in this thing. It has so many presets that I got tired of going through the presets. It's how many presets it has. So this is really good because I have a favorites folder, and basically you can send sounds through any environment. So let's just run it off of this environment here. So here's before. And here's only reverb. Now the reason this is cool is because modern samples use this type of approach where it's like, you'll record a vocal or some kind of background noise, and then you can run it through, I'll say fake rooms, but these are real rooms. Okay, you can run it through different environments to make it feel like that sound is coming from a place instead of just a synthetic place. So I'll show you how to use this with your synthesizers too. So Altiverb's super slept on. I'm gonna go through a couple ones, but I was just sitting last night listening to reverbs and like really in awe. So here's the reverb by itself. Okay, so this is how you get that Drake effect. Okay, the modern kind of Coupe de Truth effect. Even AJ Hall talks about doing techniques like this for his drums. So I'm gonna go to the favorites folder, because last night I sat through and I went through a lot of these presets. There's so many that I'm gonna have to make this like short. But in short, you could use gear, like old retro gear and analog gear, reverbs and like special processing units, and it does the same thing. So for example, I'll go to favorites. So this plugin is not just a reverb, it's like other stuff too in one. So I'm gonna click on the Digitech ST quad, stereo quad, I guess ST stands for. Okay, and you could run it through different effects, like delays. So it's not just reverb. And this is just such a vibe because now we can blend the two sounds. So here's without. Here's with. It's just such a vibe. Again, I'm just gonna go through a bunch of presets so you can hear what it sounds like. And again, I'll show you how to use this with a synthesizer. It's the cleanest reverb on the planet, I would guess. This is the best reverb I've ever heard. It's kind of like when you discover what analog actually sounds like and you're like, wow, plugins don't even remotely sound like analog synths or processing. So this is so good that it's scary that it's a plugin and that they kept developing on it. So now what I'm going to show you is taking it beyond like samples with the vocals. Let's run it through. Let's run Serum, and I'm going to load up some MIDI here. And the MIDI, what I'm going to pull up is some MIDI from our new Music Theory Magic course. I have MIDI in here, and I'm just going to drag it into. Let's open up the piano roll real quick. We're just going to use the sawtooth because it's the most synthetic sounding waveform for the most part. I'm just going to grab one of these. Let's try, let me see. Let's do, I have so many in here. Scrolling through, let's do mystery. Okay, let's do the mystery one, drag it in. Okay, so this sound is super synthetic. Now the main thing about the human ear is that we don't hear sounds in an isolation booth. We hear sounds in rooms and in environments. So if you want to make your sound more realistic, you can run it through a reverb like Altiverb to make it feel like it's coming from a room. So remember, this is 100% reverb, okay? And now I can take the synthetic sound. Okay, and one, I'll just detune it just a little bit so it has a bigger. Okay, but we need to run that synthetic sound through a space. So let's open up this Altiverb, and now I'm gonna run the entire thing through only Altiverb. And let's swap out the space. Okay, so now it feels like it has a body to it. Now this is only going through reverb. Here's the regular sound. Now, of course, you could blend the two together. So now I'm going to pull up presets so we don't have to listen to like arbitrary. Here's the dry signal. So now I'm making the sample feel like it's coming through a hallway. So you can get so unique with this that there's so many options that it's just incredible. What I'm going to do though is just go through different presets. And you realize some of these rooms look really exotic, but the room doesn't sound very good. So not these ones, these are my favorite ones, but some of the other ones, it shows like you could have $1 million studio and it still sounds, I'll say worse than like a bathroom could sound cooler. Okay. So it's not any shade to the plugin. It just shows you that sometimes more money spent on a studio does not mean a better room sound. And sometimes like the worse quality, the better. They have so many places that I'm just clicking random stuff here. They have stairwells, they have rooms, chambers, they have spring reverbs. This is literally like 30 plugins in one. I forget which one had my favorite presets, but I'll use this one for now. So I just wanted to continue this plugin series to show you plugins that I completely either forgot about and plus when I was doing this series, I had so many plugins that I stopped around like this part here, but it took so long to get just to this part here. And look how many plugins we have to go through. So this series could be a while, but there's a reason I only pick a few plugins. It's just so many to choose from. So I'll pick one more preset and then we'll wrap this up. But this is also good for your drums. So if you want to, let me pull up some AJ Hall drums and then this is my last example. So some drums don't have like a room sound to them. So if you have a drum break, for example, and it's just dry, now this is not going to be dry because he recorded it in a specific place, but let's just open up some of these sounds and we'll take out the overhead mic. Okay, so let's do everything except the overheads. And let me see, does he have, I think the ribbon mic is in overhead too, but let's just drag these in. So these are drums from AJ Hall. Okay, so what we're going to do with these is run these drums through an environment, but not directly, more so as an additional environment. So let's group these sounds as drums. Let's right click, route to this track only, and then I'm going to left click and output to both the reverb and the main output. Okay, so what you could do here is, again, I have these saved to my favorites, but you can go to different studio spaces and then switch this out for, you could even rank them based on descending or ascending space. Okay, so that's a pretty cool feature. I like this room here. And see how we created the effect of having a room mic without actually having a room mic. So here's the reverb you hear. And it makes the drums feel more organic. Okay, so now they feel super real. You could do the same thing with your synthetic drums to make them feel like they were recorded in a room. So that, you know, those are a few ways I would use this reverb. You're gonna see me use it more. The only reason I don't use it as much, and this is my final thought, is because it requires the USB iLock, and I ran out of space to constantly use the USB. I need my charger, I need my audio cable, I need my camera cable, and I need my external hard drive. So I don't have space for the iLock. I wish iLock would just allow us to use our computers and not the USB, but that's how it is, at least for this plugin. So thank you for watching. It's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. If you want to learn more about different plugins, leave them in the comments below. Peace.